Okay, welcome back. So you can see I've retouched up the paint that I used just to seal that back off, because I took a piece, scraped it off a bit when I was planing these edges. So I just touched that back up to make sure that waterproof seal is complete. Now we'll go into laying the strips on the bottom and the deck. So I've cut a couple of pieces out here to length. What I'm going to do and explain to you is when we talked about the bead and cove, so one edge has got a cove and the other edge is the bead, so they sort of lock together. Now it's easier when you're putting these strips down, because this is the cove. It's easier to run a bead of glue down inside there like that as we put them down and lock them in. Obviously put a little bit of glue on the deck, the bottom as well, so it stick to it. So what I'm doing with this board, well, previously what I had was some cedar strips, and I had a bead on either side, so rounded off on either side like these little ones here. I'll show you. Where is it? Just here. There's only a little piece left, but I don't know if you can see that. And these pieces have got the bead and cove on, so both sides. So the rounder edges is what you can start with in the middle. So when you lay these strips down, like I said before, you can put the glue in those, because if you try and put glue on the bead, it just runs off everywhere. So we don't want that. So what I'm going to do with these, because I haven't got enough of that timber left, I've only got these pieces with the bead and cove on either side. So what I'm going to do on this one, I've got a 6mm piece of dowel. So I'm going to run that down the middle and then join these so they fit in nice and snug there like that. Now these strips here, they go in like so, and then the next lot goes like that, so they lock in. A little bit of mucking around with them, but so it all locks in. And with this board over here, I had that centerpiece with the bead on either side to make it a single stringer. So on this one, because I haven't got that, I'm just going to do, I've only got these two pieces left, so I'm just going to run that down so it looks like it's got two stringers in it. On the deck, I won't have any at all. I'm just going to do it plain here. But that should look okay. I'm just trying to use up the timber I got. I don't want to go and, if I do get it cut up, I get a whole heap done at once at the joinery shop. Or if you've got a router table and you're quite good at doing that kind of stuff, for sure, do it yourself, which I'll probably end up doing. So what I generally do is I'll cut enough strips, obviously they get shorter as they come along the edge, and I'll do the whole lot, put that aside. I'll mark them, each one. So this I call bottom tail 1, which is closest to the stringer, and that way south and that way's north. So this one's got an S on it for south, this one over here's got an N on it for north. And so then I know where they are. The other thing I like to do is I always put a line on the center, and I've marked that on the rail too as well, because when I glue all these on, you won't see it again. Although when I cut them to length, I'll mark the center line, so it just makes it easier when you're laying them up, so they know where they're going. Okay, that's just that bit there. I can flip it over and show you the other bits on the deck, but it's pretty much the same as this side. So I'm going to cut here and edit. I'm going to edit and put an edit point in here. When you see me again, I'm going to have my, we'll talk about, well actually we can do it now. So I talked about steaming the timber. Obviously you can see how it's sitting up. It's not sitting down flat. It's not sitting either up here. And when I talked about it before, if you pull a whole heap of timber over here, there's a chance that it could pull the blank up and lose the rocker. So we don't want to do that. So what I do is I steam the strips. So I steam a bit of a curve into them. You don't have to do it, it doesn't have to be perfect to the rocker. I mean, the closer you get it, the better, obviously. But I just sort of pull them over a bit, and then there's not as much tension on the timber when you're pulling it over. So what I've done, what I used to do, I'm going to show you an easier way, but I've got this steamer. I made this steamer, so I've got a tube here with another tube inside. I don't know if you can see down inside there, with a whole series of holes in it, and it's got a little, like a screw-in fitting, which fits into an old gas bottle, which I got made up. Well, it's an old gas bottle. I cut the top off. I drilled a hole in it and put a cork. There's a cork goes in there, and that's in case it builds up too much pressure. And so if it pops, I'm not gonna blow myself up. Anyway, I screw that in there, fill this with water, screw that in there, put a burner, butane gas, LPG burner underneath it, sit that on, heat it up. The steam comes up out of there, you know, all pretty straightforward stuff. But obviously you don't want to go to all that trouble, and I don't blame you. And I don't really want to either. So I've come up with another idea I'm going to try, and we'll talk about that after this cut.